My name is Colt with Keller Realty, and here I have today with me Chris and Jill.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Chris with Legacy Lending Group here in town.
I'm Jill Lovato with Blossom Yoga.
So Blossom Yoga, how long have you been in town?
We established our studio here in Cheyenne in November of 2016, so almost 10 years. We began over on West 18th, and we were there for about 3 years. And we moved right before COVID, actually, to our what we call our new space, which is actually we've been there longer than our old space since December of 2019.
So you're renting right now. What does owning a business and renting look like at the moment?
Well, right now in these last 7 years, we've been really fortunate because we have wonderful owners to the property who helped us renovate what was the old workshop associated with the Cheyenne grain elevator into a beautiful space. So we've been so fortunate. It is interesting to own a business but not the building because we are sort of at the mercy of landlords. And you know, when you think about succession plans and legacy and there's not a space, it's the business, then yeah, those questions are maybe a little more complicated. I don't know. So far it's worked really well for us. But
Sure. So it's a little bit more difficult to plan future growth. Sounded like you were doing great.
yes, yeah, we've been really fortunate to cultivate a beautiful studio community. I mean, I shouldn't even say that we cultivated it, just sort of happened. So lots of community support, and I think people who really appreciate what we offer. And sometimes we get a little tight in our current space, and certainly there are some other offerings that we would like to be able to bring to the community that right now we maybe don't have the space for. A yoga studio is in some ways sort of a complicated structure because we need a big wide open space with ceilings that are a certain height and so forth. That seems like it should be easy to find, but it's actually not when you look at commercial buildings.
No, a lot of stuff is set up for storefronts, restaurants,
offices.
You almost either need an unconventional space like the grain elevator, or space would probably be good too.
Yes, yeah, that's absolutely right. And when we first opened in November of 2016, we were on West 18th Street between Cary and Pioneer, and basically we're kind of in the unused portion of a building that's a dance studio, and so it's that sort of thing that we're always looking for, and the things that generally are available tend to be offices and that sort of thing.
They're a lot smaller, especially with Cheyenne's downtown, where that's the key area to be guessing.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's really interesting. We've always been downtown. We're on the west edge of downtown. We were sort of city core before, and I do really feel like that's kind of the sweet spot for our business. But parking is always something to consider too. And so when we were on West 18th Street, I got a lot of parking tickets actually myself. And you know, sometimes our clients would have a hard time finding a place to park. Now we don't have that problem, and I haven't gotten any parking tickets where we are now. But there are a lot of things to consider as a downtown business owner when you think about the space that your business requires, and also the amenities that your clientele might look for. And also need in terms of like parking. Yeah,
because I mean there are two parking garages. Both of them are a little bit of a walk from where you are.
Yes, yeah. So we have street parking and there's a small lot as well. So that's how we kind of get through that right now, and it works quite well. But it's, you know, we're lucky. I think our downtown is vibrant and becoming more vibrant. The West Edge was historically this industrial space that's really funky and really cool. And it seems to be slowly coming around to something that is kind of hip. You know, housing is going Not too far away, there are some great restaurants, a couple of breweries. There's definitely like a few old industrial buildings that are beautiful to look at, and historic, for folks who've been here for decades. Those are a little bit trickier. I'm going to be really interested to see what happens with those spaces, because they probably need an infusion of not just creativity, but financial resources.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, that's what really brings along the downtown, right? But we have to get the little pieces in as the big pieces start to fall in. And I think they've really done a good job over the last several years on the west edge of town, really bringing that along.
Yes, and there are some champions of the West Edge for sure, business owners that were kind of the pioneers that took either vacant spaces and made them beautiful, or took buildings that hadn't had anything in them for a long time and did something with them. And that's the space that I'm in is an example of that.
Yeah, and it's awesome. I mean, I'd love to see that renovation come from the houses, and we see a lot of that in our housing market around here, that has just a lot of these guys coming in, flipping them and making the houses a lot more beautiful, bringing value to the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And it has to be bringing that up in those neighborhoods. And we're starting to see that in the commercial sector of things. And I think that's really going to make the rest of downtown really nice.
I think so too. It is interesting to think about. It's a little bit of a chicken and egg game, mm-hmm. Housing. When I look at these like beautiful condos going in, what I see as a business owner is potential clients. Of course, whoever is going to ultimately buy, live in, rent, whatever, those condos, they're looking at what amenities are nearby that are walkable, that tick the boxes for them.
Yep.
So I always wonder like which needs to come first, the people or the businesses?
And I think it's the slow growth that they're doing. I think that's the real way to do it, because it's hard. Nobody knows if it's the chicken or the egg. So you get a little chicken, a little egg, and you make it, and I think that's what we're starting to see a little bit of. And it's been really nice to see Cheyenne just kind of lift up and be much prettier than it was before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the West Edge is cool, and I'm really glad to be there. And when I think about moving my business, and I've moved it once, as I mentioned, I really feel like this is a part of town, whether it's downtown or West Edge. There's so much history, and it's just kind of cool. So it's exciting for me to see that, all of that growing.
So what's your business model? Customer comes in, they want to sign up for as many yoga classes as possible. What would you suggest?
It really depends on how often someone thinks they're going to come. So we offer pricing from the drop-in, which is $17 a class, all the way up to a monthly membership, which is $89 a month. And that really makes sense if you're coming 2 or more times a week. That monthly membership is where it's at for somebody who's going to be there more than once a week.
That's about a gym membership. Right?
Sure. Yeah. And we also have 5 class, 10 class, and 20 class passes. The price per class drops down from that $17 drop-in amount, but some people like to know exactly what they're paying per class, and so that's why we offer those. We also offer discounts for families. If 2 or more people need to carry a membership, we'll discount those, and we offer a student discount as well as a military discount. And I have hosted groups from F.E. Warren a few times just for special events, so that their own private class, they want to bring in, a dozen folks, and that's a nice way to do things, because then we can really tailor the practice to what people are comfortable with. We do have one teacher who teaches on base once a week. It's not through our studio, it's through their base gym. But we do feel like when a teacher from our studio is reaching out into the community, that makes for a stronger, more vibrant yoga community too. When we think of yoga, we always think of postures, but there are other practices within sort of the yogic canon, breath work, meditation, guided visualizations, that sort of thing, yoga nidra, that are really worthwhile and that get a little bit glossed over in a public class, because what people think they're getting when they're coming to a public class is postures, and so that's what we deliver.
So you do offer that though in big organizations, company retreats even.
Yes, so we're happy to come to businesses and provide yoga, whether it's sort of a one-off, you've got a retreat, you want, an hour of yoga or something like that. Absolutely. We have led longer form workshops or retreats for places. Some of our teachers offer one-on-one practices as well. So I work with a handful of clients weekly or every other week on a one-on-one basis. This is really useful, particularly if there's some sort of a special need. Sometimes your schedule doesn't work, or you just want the teacher to yourself, so that's also fine. We lead retreats. I lead 2 or 3 retreats a year, and these are outside of the studio. So I've led retreats to Mexico, France, getting ready to go to Montreal, Quebec in Canada next year. We're looking at a venue in Idaho, a hot springs place in Idaho. So those are more for individuals or small groups. Corporate retreats are definitely an option too.
Now, on your personal retreats that you're mentioning, what do those kind of look like? Those are 3-4 days?
Depends on where we're going. Yeah, the minimum is sort of 3 days. We're usually around like the 5-day mark. And those retreats really vary depending on where we're going, but we always make them all-inclusive, meaning that your price includes the venue, where you're going to stay, all of the meals, the yoga. Sometimes there are other wellness modalities that we'll bring in. I collaborate with a reflexologist who offers one-on-one reflexology to everybody. That's included in the price. Sometimes we do little excursions. So in Mexico, we go on a hike, we visit another town. Sometimes there's whale watching. So all of that is included. You just have to get yourself there.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and it's kind of it's the whole trip, right? It's the yoga that happens, but then it's the knowledge that you gain with everybody along for the rest of it.
That's right, yeah. And I love to travel, and I have been sort of a world traveler in my adult life. And yoga and travel, I think, do some of the same things. They get us out of our comfort zone, and that immediately changes perspective. I think it's sort of like, spraying the glass and wiping it clean, if you will. And so putting those two things together, getting people out of their daily, unburdening themselves from responsibilities, with this notion that you're here to do this, really is potent. It becomes somewhat of a vacation, right? Whale watching, hiking, but also this opportunity to reset what your daily could be like without upsetting all of the other things that you have to do.
Absolutely. So you said earlier that you've been in business for about 10 years. What kind of got you started? Where'd you find that passion to start a yoga studio?
Well, it started for me when I was in my yoga teacher training certification, the first program that I did. So I've practiced yoga for decades. I was introduced to it as a kid a few times in different capacities. Sometimes it's the postural practice that we think of as yoga. I also learned a little bit about yogic philosophy, strangely, in high school through a seminar that I took. And I had a consistent practice for, several years before I went to teacher training. And when I was in teacher training, I met someone who has become a good friend, and he owned a studio in Laramie and was thinking of opening a second studio here in Cheyenne. So he asked me if I wanted to teach once I graduated, and I said, actually, why don't I be your business partner?
Yeah.
So we started the studio, and then his wife and I have really been the sort of the people who've carried it along with various programming, weekly classes, retreats, special offerings. We offer yoga teacher trainings as well, and continuing education for teachers. So that's kind of where it started. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you've got the studio now and you're looking for maybe new locations. What are you looking for expansion-wise? Program-wise, space-wise, clientele?
I have thought about expansion every time I've taught a class that is, sort of wall-to-wall mats and people. And so certainly I think eventually it would be nice to have a larger studio space. That doesn't necessarily mean for us that we will offer more classes per week, although maybe, but just that we can fit more people into classes. I've also seen lots of models. In fact, I have friends who own studios and wellness businesses elsewhere in the state and in the country who have expanded into kind of cooperatives, wellness cooperatives. So it might start as a yoga studio, and then they also offer massage or other modalities, acupuncture, acupressure, reflexology, even mental health counseling and that sort of thing. And so I do have a growth plan that is on the books that I have, done financial forecast models with and that sort of thing. And, it's one of those things that kind of sits on the shelf. And I think that's okay. I'm not in any sort of, there's no urgency for it, right?
Waiting for the right opportunity.
Right. I always have my ears, eyes, head, and heart open for opportunities. And sometimes those opportunities come from an expressed need from our clients. And I really feel like because we are established in the community, we've done well. I train yoga teachers every year and help with continuing education as our credentialing requires. And I sort of see yoga teachers as, in a way, clients as well. I want to expand capacity, opportunities for teachers to teach.
So
and that
you get these people, you teach them, you get them certified with them, and they teach more.
We employ a lot of the teachers that we train. Not everyone who goes through a yoga teacher training wants to teach yoga. In fact, I went to yoga teacher training just as a way to deepen my practice, to learn more, and eventually, I sort of warmed to the idea of teaching, and now it's led to this, which was not at all my plan or anticipation or expectation at all.
It was just the next step, kind of carried momentum into the next one.
That's exactly right. And for me, when I train teachers, I'm always sort of thinking about where this might go for them. A lot of teachers they come out with the certification and they don't use it to offer classes, but they use it in their own practice. The teachers who do want to teach, the people that we train to teach yoga, that want to teach, I always try to give them opportunities to teach. And if we're not the right fit because of scheduling or what they plan to do, the audience that they want to reach, I work pretty hard to open doors for them elsewhere to teach.
So then once you get your graduates they're certified through the
Yoga
Alliance that we talked about earlier, how do you choose which ones you want to bring on, and how does that kind of work out?
So far, when we have hired teachers, they've come to us and said, I'm really interested in teaching. Occasionally we, throughout the program, I'm always sort of testing the waters. Who thinks they might want to teach when this is done? And when that happens, we, as I mentioned, we really try to give people opportunities to teach. So all of the teachers at the studio are independent contractors. We have a contract with them. We pay them a rate per class, and they file their taxes. We give them 1099s. And with some teachers are interested in teaching, but they don't want to teach a weekly class. They have something very specific that they want to offer, and that's more of a monthly offering or seasonal. Maybe it's one series that they just want to start with, yoga for runners, something like that. So when we do something like that, it's the same. We partner with the teacher as an independent contractor. We take care of marketing, although of course they're welcome to share on their social media and whatever. But we get the word out. We've been around for 10 years. We have a pretty large client list, and so they have access to that through us and our digital channels. And of course, then we provide the space for them to teach it into, and anything else that they need. yoga props, blankets, straps, bolsters, that sort of thing. So if they're using the space, we do let them use our software, our point of sale software, and depending on what they're offering, the studio will retain a small portion of that. So for an independent contractor who's doing one-on-ones, we might ask for 10%. We're not doing marketing, we're providing the space, we're providing the props, and we're providing the point of sales. So that's a nice way for them to, collect their income on a 1099 so that they can file their taxes easily. It allows them, some flexibility in terms of how they run their business, whether they're just doing it as on their social security number, if they're establishing an LLC and have an EIN and that sort of thing. And then classes, regular weekly classes, we just pay a rate per class.
Okay, so if they bring in the clientele and want to use their space, then they do that's 10%.
Not very much, no. For workshops and series that we might do, that we might advertise, so this is not a private thing, it's something that's public, it's open to anyone, and we're advertising to our audience, then sometimes we retain a larger portion, like 30 or 40%.
So in your teacher training program, how long does it take somebody to, if I wanted to become a yoga teacher today, how long does that take to start getting that certificate? So
Yoga Alliance is sort of the umbrella organization that registers teachers to teach. And so to become registered, you need to complete a qualified teacher training program. And those foundational trainings, sort of the first step, is 200 hours. Those are offered in all kinds of different formats. The format that we use is a 9-month program where we get together once a month for a weekend. So we start on Friday evening and go through long days on Saturday and Sunday for 9 months. And during those off weeks, there might be homework, there's a little bit of project work, there's lots of practice. It's kind of time to integrate whatever we've learned that month.
Yeah, it's kind of bringing everything in as
right.
you go.
Correct. And so we start that program typically in early October, and we finish it up in May. Once teachers are through that, they're eligible to register with Yoga Alliance as a registered teacher. Most places of employment will require that, and most places of employment will also require you to carry personal liability insurance. And so when you have that designation through Yoga Alliance, you're able to get that insurance really easily and in a very affordable way too.
Wow, that's very nice.
We offer about 25 classes weekly, and many of those are what we call all levels. In other words, anyone is welcome at those classes. The teachers are experienced, and they will offer variations of the same posture so that people who are just beginning have a place to start, and people who want to challenge themselves have a place to sort of push their edge. We always offer a beginner series in the fall and in the spring. And that series is geared toward people who have never practiced yoga, but we do get some people who haven't practiced yoga in a while and want to come back to their practice, and that's really foundational. We also offer some classes that are really nice for beginners. So our foundational hatha practice is perfect for beginners. Gentle yoga is great for beginners. And we try to put those classes, these more all levels or beginner-friendly classes, at time slots where somebody who has an 8-to-5 job will still be able to make it. That said, we also offer classes that challenge people. So we offer a level 2 hatha class, which is probably more advanced. And we also offer, along with just this weekly schedule, we offer special events that are geared toward a particular practice or something that's sort of nuanced in a public class that we shine a light on, over a few hours or even a weekend. Special events, yeah. So for instance, we have some classes that are just once a month, and those classes feature things like balancing postures, for instance, how you integrate breath into a practice so that you can be a little more focused. And that can even be taken, of course, off the mat into your daily life. We offer kind of seasonal kids programming as well. So kids are in school 9 months a year. We don't do a lot with that. During the school year, there are some great places in town to access kids yoga, though. And then we do a little bit of summertime programming for kids.
That would be the months to do kids program.
Yes, yeah. And we try to keep our schedule really consistent. So we might tweak our schedule 3 times a year, typically in January, June, and September. We have 1 free class a week. So we've had this class on our schedule since we opened, free of charge every time, Fridays at 4:30, and that won't ever go away. It's important to us to make yoga accessible.
Okay, so Fridays at 4:30, you show up. Where's your address?
We're at 810 West 21st Street.
Okay, and they can just show up with the mat and
Yes.
figure out what the studio's like.
Yes, that's right. And in fact, we even have mats to borrow if you don't have a yoga mat.
Perfect.
That was going to be my next question: is what do you recommend to the new person that wants to come in and try yoga after watching this video, where they're going to come in on Friday? What do they need to bring?
They just need to bring themselves. They should wear something comfortable to move in. We have everything that you need. Some people prefer to bring their own mat, and that's fine. We practice yoga barefoot, so you don't need special shoes. I always tell people I love yoga and I love running because you can do it anywhere and there's no special equipment needed. The other thing that I really feel passionate about in terms of yoga asana practice, the postural practice that we think of as yoga, is that it really meets you where you are. So you don't have to prepare. There's nothing that you have to know or be before you come to a yoga class.
Absolutely. You just have to be open to the experience.
That's right, yes. I do recommend for people who are new to our studio to show up 10 minutes or so early. We have a little intake form. We like to let people get really comfortable in the space before we launch in.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
Well, thank you for coming in again, Jill. Once again, my name is Colt Harris with Keller Mobility.
I'm Jill Lovato with Blossom Yoga.
And I'm Chris Edwards, Legacy Lending Group.
All right. Thanks for
Thank you.
Thank you both for your time. Appreciate it.